here with my clicker on the mute button so that I'm not listening to us twice. Although I think it would be twice as fun. It would also be twice as chaotic.
Yeah, I'm like, now I'm like, want to check mine too.
Mm-hmm. You know nothing of chaos.
My YouTube, I went to YouTube and all of a sudden everything is recommending Taylor Swift's like speech at my own graduation, but like not from the official NYU accounts, but like random accounts now. And I'm no.
Well, now that you've mentioned it and all of our computers and phones have heard it, we'll probably.
I was going to say, I can't wait to get the recommendation.
But she gave a really cute speech. So it's not like, I mean, unless you absolutely hate her, in which case I'm sorry I messed up your algorithm. But,
how could you? Absolutely.
People do.
I mean, I know people do, but like.
And they're like, she only writes about our exes. And I'm like, so are you canceling just her or the entire country genre? Because
people say that, I'm like, okay, but everyone writes about music
is canceled.
Yeah, music does that. Like, yeah. I'm like, you can be mad about that. Ask for more original.
But just be mad at everybody.
In the words of Taylor,
don't just come for Taylor.
In the words of Taylor Swift, you need to calm down.
You need to calm down.
Oh my God. I love that music video.
There's only one thing I'm mad at her about, and that's the September cover, and that's it. Everything else I'm fine with.
It's not a very good cover.
I was like, I jokingly gave that to my mom because I was mad that she woke me up when she called me. She's like, I just want to say hi. I'm like, don't call me just to say hi. Like, I thought there was an emergency. She's like, no. She's like, go back to sleep. I can't go back to sleep because you woke me. So I sent her that cover. I said it. And she called me. She's like, what was that? I'm like, you're welcome. I just wanted to say hi.
I send my dad different covers of Africa by Toto. Because he does not like that song. So I find
all of the covers.
Like that song.
Just that the song is in my head. So thank you for that.
Okay, well, I'm not. Okay, I have all of musical theater up here. So just be glad I haven't opened my mouth and said the name of a song for that's been going through my head for like the past 2 weeks.
So my problem is because I didn't start listening to secular music till later in life, that I don't always know that something's a cover.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, this is the first place I heard the song. And so like, you get to know it that way. And then you're like, this is the best version. And then like, but have you heard the original? And you're like, now that is the original.
Yeah. Like, have you heard such a
Some covers are amazing.
I don't think they sang that song.
So my husband and I are musicians, and we play this game where we pick a song that we think is really, really good, and then we try to find the best cover of it. It's like a game that we play. And
I thought you were going to say the worst cover.
No, why would we do? We don't know. I mean, the thing that's really fun is you can find something good about almost every cover of a song. And so we did. Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Everybody Wants to Rule the World was a fun one. Oh, yeah. But I'm going to drop the link for our personal favorite, which was not September, although we have done September and we listened to Taylor Swift's cover.
Your face is twisted.
I mean, she doesn't even get the night. It's the 28th night of September. Yeah. Like,
anyway, someone who does.
I kind of want to hear what she says now.
Jasmine Thompson does really good.
Really good covers. Yeah. Okay, so we did. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes.
I love that song.
I do too. Okay, so we found 2 really good covers. One, if you're in like a serial killer scene, if you're rating the scene from Psycho.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And then the other one, if you just want to have like a full dance party by yourself. This is what I'm going to be listening to.
If we want to be Ashley.
If you want to be me, yes. Dance party all the time. So I'm going to share the dance party one in the private chat.
I can't say that these are the absolute best covers, but I do like the music from A Promising Young Woman. Because they have some really like dark takes on some songs, and I was just like,
I haven't seen that yet. I really want to. for a while, I was like, should not be doing this for my mental health while I still have deadlines that involve grades that affect my graduation.
That is valid.
And then I haven't gotten it back around to it yet, but I will.
Yeah.
I'm sharing the link that Ashley just shared. And with that, Ashley, why don't you introduce yourself?
Can I say, I just realized the time I thought we were ready to sprint. I was like, wait, we haven't.
It's time to sprint.
No.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Ashley B. Patago. I am a writer for children and adults, a songwriter, and I also host productivity sprints over on Twitch. I like to listen to weird covers of classic songs and do lots of other silly things over on my Instagram. And currently, I am trying to fast draft a contemporary middle grade novel before my children get out of school, and this was a terrible plan. Chandra, your turn.
Hi everyone, my name is Chandra. I make videos about reading, writing, and all things books. All right, science fiction, horror. Wow, do I? Okay. Fantasy,
Maybe one day.
And historical fiction. That's new. We just found out that we write
Horror.
So that's good to know.
Yeah.
This is my cat Dobby. He is kind of mean sometimes, but we love him. Yeah. Oh, also I'm half of Flash Fiction Live, and I sometimes show up on some different series that Nia runs. So definitely subscribe to that channel, to Nia's channel, and also to Natalie Locke, who is the other half of Flash Fiction Live. There we go. I'm finished. Goodbye.
What to do, everybody? My name is Grayson Wild, and I write with pride. I like diving into fantasies and warm mugs of coffee. That's good, y'all. Right now, I'm working on a high fantasy called Druid's Oath, and I just started in urban fantasy. Paranormal? Yes.
Depends on the vibe.
Yeah, it's
a blurry line sometimes.
It's there. But I just started on another one because I had a plot bunny and I tried to ignore it and I could not. So I'm doing 2 projects right now. And on to you, Holly.
Sounds good. Well, there was horror. So now I have to figure out what
There are plot bunnies. It's like, where am I? Who am I? Have I fallen down the well myself? Yes, we all did. That's why we're writers in the first place.
Exactly. Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Holly. You can find me as Write Holly Davis across the interwebs. I'm a kidlit writer working on a YA fantasy. I'm trying to finish up my edits so that I could start querying this summer, which is exciting. Yay! So I'll be working on that today, and my reward is to keep working on my agent list because I've been procrastinating lately and just doing that. So I need to work on the edits, but both are equally important. And I also need, so this morning I was reading the ebook of Cinder's Adventure, Get Me to the Wedding, which is like a choose your own adventure. So I was like, oh, this will be easy. And then I'm like, I like keep picking all the options and it's not taking me to her wedding. So I got to try to figure it out, but I can't use my phone because I'm going to be on the Force app. So anyways, it's funny. It's like Goosebumps, like, throwback. But anyways, I'm going to get coffee and try to find her wedding for the first sprint.
I love those. And I am Nia, the Vixen of Fiction, here on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. You can check out my channel. Yes, and I am my Ko-fi.
Everyone has a Ko-fi on the screen.
Thanks to our fabulous Ko-fi ambassador, who is trying to help us
make money.
Yes. She's helping us out. I host AuthorTubers React, which we did last night, so you can check out my channel if you want to see that. We had some great conversation, and I host Scripting the Book next Sunday. We will be doing, what are we doing? The Devil Wears Prada, which I started, and I need to get back into, so I might put on while we're doing our sprints, and I'm doing some other things. What I'm going to be working on is updating my comic, the one I conceived this idea way back in 2014, 2015. So I feel like some of the images are outdated. So I'm excited to get in and start updating the images and just reworking the uniforms, maybe reworking what the spaceships look like, because I created them more for my kids. So they do have a very Disney meets, vibe to them. So I kind of want to upgrade that vibe and maybe mature it a little bit for the ones that are not going to be middle grade. So I'm going to have fun doing that. And I think I'm excited because I might keep the middle grade part looking like that and then change it as they age up. So I'm excited.
I like that.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, so we'll see if it actually works. So I'm going to try it.
I think it will.
I'm excited. I'm excited to update the images. So that's what I'll be working on.
Woo! And my name is Zara Hoffman. I'm the self-published author of 6 books, a young adult paranormal romance trilogy and a new adult sci-fi romance trilogy. These are all available as signed paperbacks from my Ko-fi page, which is scrolling along the bottom because with 6 people, you can't see it in the background like we normally do. That and more is available there, so be sure to check that out. I am the co-creator, co-host, and editor of the Reddish podcast, which I do with Kelly Wright. And I am now the publisher of Inimitable Books, which is dedicated to uplifting marginalized voices without forcing authors to write about their trauma. This is a website I'm using to try and crowdfund the first advances so we can start publishing. I am, as mentioned, a Ko-fi ambassador. So if you have any questions about Ko-fi or would like Ko-fi Gold free for a year, which means that you can sell commissions and or shop items from your Ko-fi page without giving up 5% of that to Ko-fi, although they absolutely deserve it, let me know. My Instagram is Zara Hoffman, so you can just message me on there. I also have a Ko-fi guide for writers, which a lot of people say is very helpful. So be sure to check that out because I want you all to make money. I don't get paid I don't get paid every time someone, I get like a little pat on the back and like a little amount, but it's not like if someone gets on and I'm like, oh, look, I get like $10 new. I genuinely want people to have a better virtual like tip jar platform than the one that everyone knows, because that one takes your donations. Whereas
which one, Sarah? Which one?
The platform which will not be named.
Yeah, I don't remember which one is that.
That's exactly. No one does.
That's better.
Better. Which one is it? I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm teasing.
Okay, this is the Forest Room code for the first sprint because there are going to be 5 sprints, supposedly. We'll see if we ever get through them. On this stream, they're going to be 20 minutes long instead of each 25 minutes long. If any of my co-hosts need to dip out at any point, let me know in the private chat so I don't think that something bad happened to your internet and you dropped off. But yeah, I'm not going to hold my co-host hostage for all 5 sprints because we clearly took a long time getting into this one. But the code for people who want me to read it out loud is 4 Zulu Echo, Bravo Whiskey, Yankee 4 Sierra Golf. And in the middle is the abbreviation for Broadway. Almost.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I'm good.
Did I do it? Did I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. There's always that scary moment where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've typed this in correctly.
Remember to turn off deep focus mode so that if you get a call that you can't control, you don't kill the tree for everyone.
Because that would be a bummer.
I don't have a tree killer emote on here. And even when I do stream on Twitch, that's meant as a joke. You don't laugh for that.
Yeah, you're joking. I'm serious. Okay.
It's like, speak for yourself.
I take it very seriously.
I was like, I wanted that tree so bad. Well, Sarah gets us all the cool looking trees, so.
And I definitely don't want the dead tree in my forest.
I know.
That's sad.
I have enough of this in my own yard. I don't need any more.
No, you can, I mean, it costs coins, but you can get rid of any dead tree.
Yes.
Ashley, you say this like this has had to happen before, or you contemplated.
But it costs. You have to the cost, and not everybody has every tree, and they're saving up for them.
His mood.
Yep.
Hi, Dobby.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun Dobby day.
I love it.
For us.
Yeah, for us, Candra. Hope your arms are ready.
He was biting me earlier, but he like still wants to be up here. He's like, "Don't touch me." Sir.
Okay, we are going to start our first sprint. Everyone in the chat, I have seen you. I will pop your names up after the sprint. I just want to make sure we actually started one. So, in 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. And if that means caffeinating yourself, like I will be doing, that's also productivity.
Yes.
I'm a dance.
How did everyone do?
I got a lot of little pieces of things done, but I didn't actually finish anything. But I did get to listen to both versions of Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, which was just so fun.
Okay, yeah, I shared the first one. I did not share the second one because I was trying to get us into a first sprint.
That was smart.
I will share the second one now.
The first one is just a nonstop party, and then the second one is like, who hurt you?
This is apparently a creepy cover of Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, and this is a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Candra?
Oh, it's me. I am editing. I just finished a read through of my drafted project yesterday.
Woo! Hey.
Love that.
Thank you. It's all marked up. I have beta reader feedback, and like I got maybe halfway through the feedback, and it was like, why does this character never say anything? And I was like, cool. They're basically just a shell of a person floating around and interacting when it's convenient for the main.
That's rude. You didn't tell me you were putting me in your novel.
Oh my god. It was not intentional. And I was like, wow, you're so bad at this. So, some of my notes that I made for myself were like, absolutely not. So it's going well. So now I'm incorporating out. I am basically going over that feedback to make this character more of a participant in the story. And I also straightened out the timeline per y'all's recommendation from last time. Thank you. I marked that all up. So I now have a reasonable expectation of how long certain things should take and some time gaps where nothing happens and I need things to happen. But like now I know.
That's good. Yay, I'm so happy it worked for you.
Thank you.
I got some more plotting done, and then I ran an idea by my partner. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to speak something out loud to see if it makes sense. Yep. I do that to her because sometimes she goes, "Grayson, you said words, none of that made sense." I go, "Okay, let me try this again." So I do that a couple times, and then
you have to make sure the other person is caffeinated first, though, because sometimes it's not you.
Oh no, she's caffeinated. I gave her some of the coffee because she's like, "Great, I'm awake now. I'm supposed to be asleep." I'm like, "You're welcome."
I feel like though, on the other hand of that, sometimes you can just speak the words to the shell of a human, and you don't need any actual participation. You just need to say it out loud. For those instances, you can borrow my character.
I mean, it worked. It worked. And then YouTube got to the end of my playlist, and I forgot to go back and click off because then I went to a new song, and I was like, "This song is oh." And then I shared it in the private chat. It's called "The Snake," and wow,
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. So that's
I need to. Yeah, I need to listen to that because I listened to the two versions of Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, and that second one was so creepy. Great.
Did you like when the X-Files music comes in on the first one? I just delighted.
I'll listen to a song or something. I'll be like, "Oh my god, it's this," and then the song starts and it clearly is a different song, and I'll be like, "They sampled it." My mom's like, "I don't think it's the same." And I was like, "No, it's exactly the same." And then I Google it, and it's like famous song or like artist allowed famous song to be sampled and blah 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 blah. And I was like, I knew it.
Yep. Let's see. I mostly did snack things. I got my drink. I got Loki's snack tray ready. And then I think he thought it was time to play and do tricks. So he was like, "Okay, it's our time now." And I'm like, "No,
like, I'm ready."
Yeah. So now he's back napping again. And so these are for later when after he takes his nap. We're trying to get our work life thing going. Like, how can you be a good writing partner, Loki? So we're working on this, and he's doing really good now. He'll know when it's treat time. Right now, it's time to nap and let me write. Last night, he was like, as soon as he would hear music, he's like, okay, we're done. I'm like, whoa. But he just started training classes, so yeah. Yesterday was his first one, so he's in school. He's very excited.
How'd it go?
He still has the same issues. He barks at everybody, but he just wants their attention. So they're like, okay, we see what he needs to work on. But all his tricks, they're like, oh wow, he's on it. I'm like, oh yeah, sit, turn. He's just learned roll over because he was in denial about that one.
Riley never learned roll over, and so we, instead of using the word come as a command, we use the word, I think she's on and off, so this won't matter, touch. And basically you have to always give a treat so that she always comes. Mm-hmm. And lately she hasn't been feeling well, so she hasn't been responding to the command, but it's like you have to respond to this command because if there's ever an emergency or something. So I'm like, this isn't good.
Yep.
Yeah.
For Loki, touch is when we do touch, we do like this, and we want him to jump up and touch our hand. So for him, that one's touch, and he just looked at me like, "Do I got to do tricks now? You just told me to take a nap."
No. You gotta like spell it out. TOUC.
Yeah, I know. That's why I looked out. I was like, "Is Riley here?"
Like, go back to sleep. You're good. He's like, "Am I doing the right thing right now?" You are.
He's like, I want my TREAT. So I want to not miss a command if there is one.
Yeah. And he knows the different things. So if I say certain things, he'll be like, "Oh, it's time for that." I'm like,
so for Riley dances, she goes up on her hind legs like those circus dogs, because Havanese used to be circus dogs, as well as lap dogs for Cuban royalty, and she's much more like that than the other ones. But we'll do tricks for food.
And apparently, pugs will do anything for food. So
Yep.
I spent the first 10 minutes unsuccessfully trying to get Riley to take very important medicine to help her liver heal with my mom, and it didn't work. She was not having it this morning. Normally I'm the one who can like trick her into having any medication that my mom can't get her to eat. She was like, nope, can't fool me this time. And I was like, So after that, I put my caffeine mix in my water, took my medicine because I'm not difficult like that. And did Wordle.
Oh,
yes,
nice.
I did my Wordle.
Now I want a Wordle. Let me stop. Focus.
Okay. So let's see other comments. Regina got coffee.
Nice.
Deja ate some breakfast, but not much writing. Still productivity, which is why I say happy productivity instead of happy writing, editing, or anything else. It's Kofi, not coffee. I appreciate you this fine, Richard.
It should be both. Both are equally wonderful.
It really should be. They missed the boat on that one, but it is what it is.
It's because it rhymes with no fee. And they're saying is though like the automatic message is like buy me a coffee, which is where all the confusion comes in.
Yeah.
When you have your logo as a mug, and then it says
coffee.
Buy me a coffee, everyone's going to be like, oh, it's coffee.com. And it's like, no. And they're like, what do you mean? But there is a Discord server for all Ko-fi creators, and I will drop a link to that. And they have an emote that says Ko-fi, how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Got it.
That's funny.
370 words after getting everything set up in the baby down. Okay, you got the baby down. That already would have been like,
that's a lot.
Then you got everything set up and 370 words. So, round of applause.
Yes.
Got coffee and food. Great. Read another chapter of Octopus. I don't know what that is.
Barrett's review of it is fabulous.
Yeah. Isn't that one for Male Moderns?
Octopus, and I wish. The Octopus, written by Frank Norris, reads like a water softener instruction manual.
This is Barrett's new favorite book. He wants a poster of the cover.
My mom is trying to
For
get me to
his
watch
library
my
wall.
Octopus Teacher or whatever that documentary was called, and I'm just like, I'm not interested. And everyone's like, oh, you'll cry, and I'm like, then I'm really not interested.
No, thank you.
So there's a podcast called the Bore Me to Sleep podcast. And my problem is whenever I listen to it, I'm actually really interested in the 1800s. What's it called? Is it open source when it's like no longer under copyright?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it's called,
public domain.
Public domain.
Thank you.
Open source is different.
Yeah.
It's coding related.
But we knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
We got there.
So yeah, it's public domain. Like it'll be like, how to plant these 48 different types of corn, and I'm like, interesting. So I mean, what I'm saying, Barrett, is I might actually enjoy that.
Happy early birthday. That one. That's the cover. He just wants it real big on his wall.
I mean,
right
it
there
is a cool
for
cover.
all- It's a really cool cover.
You have to admit, the cover is cool.
That's one that would fool you, and then you'd be very upset, I think.
So, Sarah, I don't know everyone here follows Sarah Sutton, but a while ago on a vlog, she had received a been there, done that poster of like 100 reads.
Oh, yeah.
100 epic reads, and I think she got the young adult one. And there is an adult fiction one, but I also got the young adult one because I like the books listed there better. And you scratch off the ones that you've read. They also have other posters, like they have ones for like movies and TV shows and things like that. So it's a cool website. I'll drop that too. Not sponsored. But so that's the only book related thing in my apartment, surprisingly. But then I have the Writer's Manifesto like right next to my desk and a NaNoWriMo poster, but then everything else is musical theater.
Love it.
I'm sorry if you hear that noise. That's Loki snoring.
Oh,
Very loud.
I always apologize, and I'm always either like, I actually can't hear it, or damn, I can't hear it. I'd like to.
It's adorable.
Okay,
It's
so
very
Riley, first of all, Riley probably would have licked the peanut butter from around the pill like she did with the cheese. Second of all, I'm allergic to all things like nuts.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
So my mom wouldn't be able to do that while I was still here. Like I am leaving here after the stream, but by then, like Riley needs to eat, and Riley needs to take this liver medicine before she eats anything.
Yeah. Can you crunch it up or mush it up?
She can smell the pill. That's the problem, because the pill is so big that we had to break it in half. And I think that if we didn't break it in half, she wouldn't smell it as much, but then she wouldn't be able to swallow it.
Yeah.
Oh, poor baby.
So I think we're just screwed. And I was like, what about liquid? And my mom was like, I tried something else with the liquid. And like after the second time, like she wouldn't open her mouth. I'm like, then you pry her mouth open. And my mom was like, no, I can't do that to her. And
Does Riley like the Kong?
We tried. Okay, so my mom did get the little pill pocket thingies that are not peanut butter and won't like make me start not being able to breathe like a few nights ago.
Oh, no.
I accidentally got exposed to nuts somehow, despite being super careful. But Riley wouldn't do that either. So we think that she's just like not eating this morning right now, which means that like it's hard to even trick her into having the pill. But then also she's like just too smart half the time. When a pill is smaller, I can easily trick her, but this is like a huge pill.
Yeah.
Even for a human, I would be like, ugh.
Yeah, we have
Like,
to do that.
one that
One
we
of our
have to
dogs
do
is
that.
just super smart. No matter where we put the pill, they will eat everything around and just leave the pill. Even if we shove the whole thing in the mouth, everything will get swallowed and the pill will come out. So we
Riley used to do that, but my trick is that we use Laughing Cow cheese, and so I like kind of create my own pill pocket with the cheese. But the trick is to have another like finger ready for her to lick off immediately. So she's like, oh, I have to swallow this whole thing down so I can take in more of the cheese.
Yeah, that's how we do with we smash it to dust, then we Kong it on top, or like we Kong, then smash the pill smash to dust, and then Kong on top. So basically, to get to the rest of the Kong, they have to keep going with it. Even if they can smell the dusted up pill, when they get to it, they're going to keep going. So it's like some of these dogs are very, very smart. They're like, we know what you're trying to do. So you have to make them.
I'm gonna have to
more than trick. Force them to just. If you want the next thing under there, you got to keep going.
Nobody is in my house. Like, I'm sad, they're sad, everybody's sad. We just want to sit around and cry.
Y'all talking about like preparation, like what to do to hide that. For us, we had an asthmatic cat, so we had to get her meds for her asthma. We had to prepare for war. Like, because she knew. So we put on several layers of clothing with long sleeves. We put on gloves, and we wrap her multiple times because she will slip her paws out and wouldn't fight us, but she will fight the container because she had the mask for her inhaler. Like, our inhalers looked identical. It was that bad.
I mean, I'm glad she wasn't fighting you. Like, Riley's pretty chill in general. Like, if she hears either the house phone that rings, which announces the fact that someone's going to be coming up, or the doorbell itself, she'll bark. Or when she wants to play. I don't know if you all just heard that. She's playing with my mom. But otherwise, she's like chilling or like straight up sleeping. But when it comes to medicine, she's like, I'm not going to growl. I'm not going to fight you, but I'm going to make this impossible for you. All the same.
Yeah.
It was every day. And we took her to the vet because the vet's like, here. She gave us so many tips. We're like, no, ma'am, you're not listening. She goes, no, I don't think you're trying hard enough. I was like,
don't you hate that?
That's what they're called, the spicy burrito, when you have to wrap them up as a burrito. And because I've had that where it's like, yeah, you're going to war. And
that.
I always have to like lay out all of Dobby's medicine and then act like I forgot about it and go do something else. So I'll usually get his stuff set up, wrangle the dog, and that's not fun for either of us, but at least she doesn't like try to murder me.
Yeah.
And then Dobby will like be like, ha, you're torturing the dog, and he'll like start to get cocky and wander into the room. And when he's not paying attention, then I snatch him up, swing his claws, and then apply the medicine to the back of his neck, which he loves.
Dobby's like foiled again.
The mind tricks that we have to play on our dogs. When Riley was little, she thought the leash was a toy. She no longer does. And they would be like, oh, to get them stopped chewing on the leash, spray this thing called bitter apple. They hate the taste. You know what Riley did not hate the taste of and in fact loved?
Bitter apple.
Oh, wow. See,
and they're like, here's this other flavor from the same company. If they, some few dogs aren't deterred by bitter apple. Try this other one. It works on everyone. And we're like, not anymore. You're going to have to change your marketing.
It's a snack.
Yeah. No, we actually had to take her directly to the vet because I'm petty. Because she kept she wasn't listening. So I took her to the vet. It's like, you give her the meds. And she tried everything we tried, but Abby didn't attack the inhaler. She actually attacked the vet because she didn't like the vet. She's like, no, don't touch me. And then she's like, oh. I was like, yes. You're mine. She goes, I'm going to switch y'all to a liquid.
Like, thank you.
Yeah, because there's this like pill, what's it called? A pill popper or something where you like stick the pill in and then you try to jam it in and then just press that and so it'll pop in their mouth, and then I would clamp their mouth shut and rub their nose so they swallow, and it's like you feel like you're torturing your pet. And it's
you kind of are, but it is for their oh my god, we all sound like genocidal, Machiavellian, sociopathic when we're like, we're doing this for your own good. It's
so walked in.
That it's true, but like
it sounds horrible, but it looks worse. Like if I have the
if you are writing a character like that, just pretend that you either have to give a pet or a child fussy medicine and get into that mindset where you
I'm done with that.
Believe that what you're doing is right.
It's like she could poison him by doing some of the same tricks that I used to get my dog to eat this medicine. That way they won't recognize the poison in the food. Okay, this is all for writer research.
When women poison people, they mostly do it in food rather than drink. I learned that from NCIS. Also, there are certain things that are odorless and tasteless, and then there are things that taste very bitter, and you have to hide them. Also, cyanide tastes like almonds, like smells and tastes like almonds. Learned that from Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and also when I was researching the real truth about Alan Turing after watching The Imitation Game, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. Such a good film.
Also, if you're trying to cover up poison, they'll often use cinnamon. Or so I've seen on the interwebs. I haven't verified that one myself, but I don't.
We're not going to.
How are you going to verify it yourself?
Just putting that out there that no one's verifying that.
Okay. There's an episode in the second season of Rightish where I interviewed DP Lyle, and he is a cardiologist of many, many years. He has an amazing Southern drawl. And he has written books called Forensics for Writers. There are, I believe, 2 volumes. But I do ask him questions that were submitted by people. And I still recommend people buy the books because they're very, very good. But basically, he was like, yeah, the best way to kill someone is this. I did see somewhere else. He said cut the femoral artery. He's had his characters do that to people. But
I thought you were going to say he'd verified it.
No, I did see online somewhere from a nurse or a doctor who is also a writer. And like in medical school was working on cadavers and things like that. I don't think she's a medical examiner if I remember the tweet correctly, but she was like, a great place to stab someone is the armpit because you can get 3 arteries in one go. And I was like, okay, but like someone's going to notice if they've been stabbed in the armpit, whereas you could like technically like really fast get someone in the femoral artery, and you know, so take that with what you will. I have not verified either of these things. But
imagine being stabbed in the armpit.
I have access to the armpit.
Like you're fighting and it's like,
fight.
I'm trusting DP Lyle on the medical thing because he's not only has he written books that very famous authors have then thanked him for the information that was in those books, but he has also what is the word?
Verified?
Consulted on TV shows where it's like, yeah, someone can medically die from this, and like, no, that's not how it works. And one of the things that he absolutely hates is if in a show someone gets knocked out and then it's like hours later, he's like, if they're not waking up in 30 seconds, there's serious brain damage or they're dead.
I need to add this to my reading list.
Okay,
but
but
Shadowhunters, the TV show, taught me that there is a place that you can stab someone from the back, like through their spine to their heart. Don't have that. They also have like very special angel swords, so I don't know if that's a real thing.
Left arm,
but Vampire Diaries, when they're learning to fight vampires, if you go between the 2nd and 3rd rib, you can get to the heart, supposedly. Again, I think it depends on how long you're...
Yeah.
I just would be the person... Okay, hold still for just a second.
I can't get the right
That is
angle.
the problem with those.
Well, you can feel it. It's where it's like there's the biggest gap between your ribs on yourself.
Okay. Everybody touch your ribs.
I know.
We all have our arms up. This is very dangerous if anybody's thinking about stabbing us in the armpit.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about the armpit. I'm gonna keep my arms crossed.
Yeah, I am too. I'm like, I don't trust that. I may never raise my arm again. I'm literally protecting.
You're never gonna do this in the club again.
No, I don't.
If any of us are ever going to the club again after this,
Not even
you can still raise the roof. You just got to do it like this. And make sure
Have y'all watched
woo,
I feel like that's a great place to get inspiration.
I forgot to take off when we moved off from the dog chat and we're chatting nonsense, but yeah.
Also, we're not talking nonsense. We're talking verified murder over here.
I had the most random conversation at the grocery store where the person bagging my groceries launched into a whole thing about medieval armor and how the portrayal in most modern media is completely inaccurate. and it's just ridiculous when they show someone with like plate armor getting shot with an arrow. And I was like, I know this, but the fact that you launched into this conversation without any preamble is alarming to me.
Do we go to the same grocery store?
There is, first of all, I have an Amazon public wish list of books that is basically called this, so I'm finding that. There is an amazing YouTube series on Insider's YouTube channel called How Real Is It? And they have experts judging scenes from movies and TV.
Oh, I love that series. It's so
good.
See, you were in a grocery store getting that. I was outside. I had a new pipe. I was like, oh, let me go outside and enjoy this pipe. And my neighbor, who I haven't actually met yet, so that was my first time meeting her. And I had a nice cup, kind of like this, but it was bigger. And I had ice in it. And she stared for a while. She was, is that plastic? I was like, no, it's glass. She's like, oh. You know, if you break glass and you grind it up enough and give it to someone, they'll slowly bleed out from the inside. And I just stared.
I mean,
she sat there smoking, then got up and left. Didn't say hi, didn't say bye.
I would not eat whatever she serves at the community picnic.
The house all the time. They grill in front of the house, and I'm like, I'm never eating what you cook.
Why is that this? You remember the friend from Mean Girls? She was in what was the name of that show? Oh, she was in True Blood as the Jason Stackhouse's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in Mean Girls, and that really just gave me that vibe from her.
Yeah.
That's how
if there's ever a block party, she's not bringing ice.
That, because I'm like, wait, who's over here grinding up glass? Who are you feeding to? How are you feeding?
I will also say though.
Also, small doses of silver will kill someone. That was in a house episode.
Wait,
but
what?
People drink.
People drink that.
Yeah, people drink
silver.
Yeah,
people also use it for cures for stuff.
Yeah, it's
that's one of those ambiguous ones.
Yeah.
That
the amount of it that you would have to take in order for it to.
They were dosing someone a little bit every day for years.
Yeah. Yeah, but
and then gold will also do that to you. Basically, don't consume metals.
Yeah,
I feel like that shouldn't have to be said.
Barrett, I'm sorry.
Yes.
For research.
That was actually what I was going to say about accidental death, though, where you're talking about the ground up glass. That's why when you work in a restaurant and you have your ice bins and counter, that's why they have the plastic scoop that you're supposed to use to fill a glass. People don't always do that. Sometimes people will dip the whole glass in there, which is a hazard because
it could break
chips of glass.
Yeah. And then that would end up in the ice bin and you would never know.
Oh, okay. So what about the magicians that eat glass as like a trick? I know that it messes up their teeth, but what do they do?
No.
Or is this really like just like
I think it's really
I hope that doesn't happen to me.
I think it's really trickery, and that because I'm one of those people that I think that there's places where you can look up how certain musicians do certain things. I think that there are tricks to some of these things where we think that they're doing one thing and they're actually doing something else.
Yeah,
but I heard that like the sword swallowers, they really work to do things to their to be able to. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Yeah. And I don't know if
they're I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's the show where Penn and Teller, like, they have magicians and they try and
fool us.
Penn and Teller, fool us. Yeah. And I'm blanking on her name, but the person who played Willow and Buffy and then played Lily.
How I Met Your Mother, cute lady.
Yeah, yeah, she's like the hostess or whatever they call it. Yeah. I'm like,
Barrett.
Oh, Barrett, you got to go back. If you weren't here when Grayson was talking about the neighbor.
Oh yeah, gotta love that.
There should also be no pink in chicken.
Yeah.
Oh. And no one should be serving medium rare chicken
or pork.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Y'all, that's why I don't cook.
Now Barrett has verified that one. The pork one has been verified by Barrett.
Y'all,
here's the thing. I was on screen with Barrett when that happened.
Okay, we're never gonna start the next sprint.
No, oh my God.
So
I'm gonna start feeling responsible. Like, oh my gosh, every time I'm on a stream, we don't get the sprints in. So I'm
no. Okay, last chance for people to enter the room because we're starting at the 15-minute mark. So type as I'm saying it. 6 Kilo Charlie Romeo, 5 Kilo 8 Sierra Golf. It always ends in Sierra Golf. Be thankful that they did this. I really wish I could customize those last 2 letters to BZH, but they won't let me.
Regina, that is diabolical. I love it.
Oh my God.
Regina, you have to put that in a novel. Okay, we're starting the sprint. So if you're in the middle of entering the code, I'm sorry. In 3, 2. Come on, show me the play button on my own video. This always happens when I'm sharing the screen. In 3, 2, 1, happy productivity, everyone. If you're killing a character, we're just giving you a lot of ideas. If you're killing a person, we do not claim any responsibility for what information you may or may not have gleaned.
Yes, research purposes only.
How did everyone do? Ashley?
Ashley, we can go the other way if you want, and I'll start until we can get back.
If Ashley's frozen.
I think.
Nope,
so.
Ashley just went.
Yeah, she's moving. She's working.
Oh, look, it's me.
I was working. I'm so sorry.
That's what I said. I'm like,
How
no,
dare
working.
you be
I was just-
productive on a productivity sprint?
I was being productive by ordering groceries and then crying about like, oh, they're so expensive.
Yes. Yes. And when I order my groceries, I tell my kids, because we have a budget. So I'm like, one, I tell them I don't buy your junk food because none of them need me to buy their junk food anymore. I'm like, you're buying it yourself. I never had soda, so that was not a problem. They already knew. So I say, this is your budget. Go ahead and drop it. And even the college kids like, can I? I'm like, throw some things in, but this is your budget. And we're literally the number of items in the cart for the dollar amount is just like so different. I'm like,
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, we're only getting this much stuff for how much now? Because it's just like you can see the number. Like you only have 97 items in here, and this summit, and I'm like, oh, that is not the same.
and like 8 of those items are just banana. Like picked 8 bananas.
Have you ever used Ibotta?
I've used Ibotta in the past. It stopped being helpful for me because we don't do a lot of snack crackers and stuff like that, and they stopped doing as regularly the like 25 cents off for milk and 25 cents off if you're already buying apples. And I caught myself early on Ibotta going, well, if I buy this $3 item, I'll get 25 cents back. So I should buy this thing that we wouldn't normally do. And so I had to stop myself from doing that.
Yeah, that is completely fair.
Because of my
the thought of saving will make you actually buy something that you weren't intending to buy. So you're not actually saving.
That has never worked on me, and I'm
me either.
So happy.
I think it doesn't work on me.
I try to tell my kids that. I'm like, but you don't need it. They're like, but it's 50% off. They're like,
you're still paying 50% of that item that you wouldn't have paid at all.
Yeah.
You didn't even want it until you saw it. No.
So we usually do a 2-week grocery run. Like every 2 weeks we'll do the groceries, and then that's it. But the grocery store was out of a bunch of stuff, and we ran out of things like salt. So and eggs. We needed salt and eggs. So
oh, okay, never mind. Sorry.
We I'm doing like a midweek grocery run, and it's as expensive as the 2-week grocery run. How is this possible?
Oh.
Ooh. So that's fun. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
I fought with my cat, who's in a rare fine mood today, and I worked on a couple more. Or the next chapter, starting on the chapter 5. So I did chapter 4, and I'm starting on chapter 5. Sometimes when I read what I've written, yeah. Yep. Nope, that's the end of the sentence.
I felt that. I felt that so deeply.
No, I know it was the end of the sentence. It was just like
that was it.
That's it.
Yeah.
No. I was also distracted because one of my cats, Oliver, he likes to jump up on the I don't know what the computer box thing is called. My husband's the one with computers.
The tower?
Yeah, the tower. And like there's been a couple times where he's turned off my computer as he's jumped on it because the button's right on top. So he was right there. So I kept looking at him like, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. And then he jumped up and it's like, shut down. I'm like, no. anyways, I am here. Yeah, I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. I was, watching some YouTube videos, and we're going out for brunch later, so I was like pre-ordering food and stuff.
And I got things pulled up, so things are starting to happen. And I know Scrivener is going to be so good, but the automatic uploading to cloud that Pages does, like I can literally with Pages, I can go to my phone or my iPad or my
Scrivener
laptop.
does that too.
Do you have Dropbox?
No, I think
Scrivener
I
does
do,
it
but I
too.
don't use it. Is it
Scrivener
automatic?
does it. Scrivener does it, and if you
need
have
the
it on your
iOS,
phone,
you need the mobile app as well as the other thing. But
Okay,
if you link it to your iCloud or your Dropbox,
Okay, I gotta find my
it will
Dropbox.
upload and it will sync, and it's just like iCloud.
and it'll
All right, so
sync
that's
to
what
your
I'm not
phone too, so you
Okay.
can, like, when you're standing in line or waiting for the kids to do or whatever, or like whatever you're doing, you can sync it on your phone, and then you can get a couple words in.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I know I have a Dropbox that I never ever use, so
I only use Dropbox for my Scrivener. So
Yeah,
that I
so I
never
gotta-
say, you have too much in your Dropbox upgrade. I'm like, no.
So
Like,
yeah,
I already
once
upgraded my iCloud storage.
once I get that situated where I think I'll use Scrivener more, but I hate every time I'm like, oh, that's on Scrivener, and I have to go to the one computer that
I need to make my Scrivener
on.
guide. So, but yes, that you can sync across devices, and I love it.
Okay, yeah, because that's what I love about Pages. I'm like, it automatically goes to the cloud, so no matter where I'm at, I can literally just.
The only thing that the mobile version doesn't have yet, I keep asking them for it, is the ability to do revision mode. So like on the desktop version, if I select revision round 1, it automatically makes things red.
Yeah.
And then if God forbid I was ever like, I hate all my revisions, there's a button that says remove all revisions. So it's not like I changed the text color. I wouldn't know what to do. But so it shows you that if you did it on your computer, it shows you on the phone, but you can't do that.
That's true. Before I had a computer, I used an iPad as my computer. While we were like saving up because an episode of the X-Files killed my computer. And so I used an iPad, and I had Scrivener on there, and I was like, I know everybody says there's all these things you can do, but I'm not seeing how they do. And then I got a computer and was like, oh, yeah,
this is how they do this.
This is how they have a computer that works.
Yeah, I feel like with Scrivener, because I see all of the things, I feel like once I actually start using them more practically, it's going to be better than Pages. But because I've been using Pages so long, it's like it's just automatic. I don't have to think of, okay, how do I do this, or where do I go to do this? So it's just going to take some time. So for right now, I'm just like, there are some things I'll still do on Scrivener because I want to get used to using it. But for my stuff, my work that I've already got everything completely organized on, I haven't had the gumption to get everything reorganized yet and put on the Scrivener yet.
I was on Mac, and then I briefly went to Razor, and then I lost like almost all my writing that wasn't backed up on a cloud. So yeah, I went back to Mac because my mom was like, this never happened there. And I was like, well, I mean, it's because things got corrupted. Like, no one can predict that. And then Tom from Glory Writes the Blues was like, oh, it's probably because like the something with the, I don't remember what he called it, but it was basically like because I was on a cruise and the like using your computer while it's plugged into like this changing type of electricity like was bad, and it like fried everything, and I was like, great. So never doing that again.
That's good to know. As
more gigs and more hertz. On this laptop currently, I did get more gigs, and I thought I got more hertz, and I apparently ordered the wrong one.
Oh no.
So like lately I've been dealing with the problem. I'm like, do I spend money on this or do I put all the money in the publishing company? And I've been choosing the publishing company so far. And then it's a part-time job, moving things around to my external hard drive. Yeah.
I couldn't open a web page. That's how bad it got. At one point, it was like, I can't. Yeah, see, I already said that. We don't need to hear me say it out
so
loud.
I have cleaned my Mac, and it'll be like your memory is like almost full. So I'll click free up, and it like does this little thing. I don't know what it does, but it like makes things more available, so things move a little bit faster, and it also lets me know like, hey, you should like clean out stuff and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sui went back to PC from Mac because
some people
they were saying it works better with their brain fog. I don't know what that means, but like if it works for you, cool.
I love Holly's cat. Sorry.
Yeah, he's like, I'm always like,
yeah, he's like, your cat's like, I could have sworn I turned this off.
Is it Zuko?
This is Zuko, yeah. So
Yeah.
Oliver's over here.
Yo.
On the he's the one who never shows up, but yeah. And then Zuko's the one who's a mama's boy, so he likes to be right here.
On the PC thing, I stream from my MacBook, but I do everything else on my PC. But I mean, I don't know, because I feel like there's some stuff that it's just super easy to like film stuff on my phone and like not have to find ways to transfer everything to my laptop versus, and then like, anything I need on both I have in my Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I do stuff on my iPhone, I have to wait for the cloud, and it could take half a day whenever it decides to upload it, because the video clips take longer. Like a picture,
I delete videos. I delete video clips once they've been used. Like once I've exported the video and things like that.
Yeah, so usually I use my other camera, but if I'm out and about or whatever, the shots that I do for the shorts and stuff, those are all on my iPhone. So I just wait for them to automatically upload. It could take an hour. It could take a day, depends on.
But I've I also have too many things in iCloud. So it's like, no, this video clip has been used. It's out. Like, trash it.
I should do that, but I never delete anything. And since I work in IT, that's probably bad, but whatever.
I caved and bought the extra space, so I never have to worry about it. I'm just
I pay for extra space already, and I'm like, I don't want that bill to go up. So
yeah.
Yep.
I feel that.
On this branch, my audiobook narrator was like, how do I pronounce this stuff? And I realized that like I'd apparently left. Like I didn't think about it when I was writing because I was like, I had taken Latin. So I was like, yeah, this is how you pronounce the spell. And she was like, how do I pronounce this? And I was like,
so you had to make a pronunciation guide.
He luckily had like already asked me for the terms and put it in the spreadsheet for me to just fill out. But she had sent it like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Based on this conversation, I'm going to put something in chat. Please don't hurt me.
Where chat?
In the IG chat.
Okay. There's so many chats.
Private chat, IG chat.
Yeah, which chat are we going to? It's so funny because I'm getting very nostalgic with Ashley's kids because I'm very good at like tuning out when they're just playing, but I occasionally will check in. Oh, yep, they're just playing. Everything's good. And then like automatically my brain, Ashley, the mom brain says, yep, they're just playing. Everything's good.
Yep. Yeah. No, they're okay right now.
Oh, I'm
any minute now. Yeah. Things could turn.
Yeah, you're always listening for the change. Like,
things could turn. Well, we solved a huge problem by me walking in there and just turning the television off, and then suddenly they got along much better because they were like, "Uh-oh."
We gotta be good.
She turned the television off. That means business.
Yeah.
The oldest one is upset because I said, go turn something on PBS Kids. And the two youngest ones were like, we want to watch Daniel Tiger. And the oldest one is like, Daniel Tiger is for infants. So, but the show that she wants to watch is too scary for the younger two.
Yeah.
Even though it's on PBS Kids, it's like,
There are
I'm
levels.
sorry. Yeah, I think you're going to have to watch Wildcrats. Or nothing.
Yeah. Lost my mouse.
Barrett, come get your cat.
Yep.
Sir, put a shirt on. It's put a shirt on. That's from that game that you guys are playing with. Oh, it's a mess. That's true. Can you please put a shirt on?
Okay, we were.
At least he's wearing underwear.
We were gonna do 5 sprints, and now we're gonna do 4.
4.
We're skipping Grayson. Sorry, but
Bye, Grayson.
the code is 5 Victor Romeo Charlie 5 Tango 9 Sierra Golf.
It's been ages since we left Pyramid. As always, my companions.
This is delightful. I like that you had it.
Like, I don't think. Okay, so with my Stellar Blood books, I do give a pronunciation guide for the alien names. But like, I was like, I didn't think about having to give a pronunciation guide for the Latin spells in my.
Hey,
I've just randomly been going back and watching that like every day.
Yeah, I just.
Nice.
That's my pronunciation guide in my sci-fi books.
Cool.
Yeah, if there's anything when I go back and I'm rereading my stuff and I change the way it sounds every time, because I have a narrator that reads to me in my head. So if my narrator is confused, then I'm like, oh, that needs a pronunciation or a change. I'm like, I wrote this in my own narrator in my head. It's like, what?
I somehow went in and managed to change one of my side characters' names to be the same as my main character's name, and now I'm having to read through the scene where they interact and try to decipher which one is which, and
Yikes.
I hate it here.
I'm reading Knox, and I realized I should have spelled it like Knox, but then some people like wouldn't know that the KN, like if English isn't their first language, so I'm like, whatever. And then I had to make sure that Avery was correct, because in one of the later books, the main character, like, just to like annoy him, is like Arrow, and he's like, that's not my name. She's like, well, you helped hold me hostage, so I don't really care about your feelings.
Aww.
Oh,
That's so cute.
no,
Not particularly that.
no,
that's good.
it was not cute. It was on carpet.
Yeah.
Oh.
My kids did that once with the baby powder. Just like squoze it out like this.
Oh, no.
The room. They were white. The carpet was white. The walls were white. I just walked in like it was too quiet, and I knew it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I'm like,
no.
I don't even know if this is safe. Please stop inhaling. Just leave the room.
Leave.
There's a romance book I read where like the couple has to babysit like one of the couple's like nieces and nephews or whatever, and they're all boys, so there actually aren't any nieces in this babysitting situation, and they're all different ages, but they're all in the like chaotic stage, and they think everything is fine, which it's not, but like they think that they have it under control enough, and then they walk into a room, and then one of the boys like jumps on a thing of lotion and it splatters everywhere, and I was just like,
Oh no.
yeah.
One of my kids thought that I planted seeds with them one year, and she was like 3, She was like, that was so fun. And look, now there are all these plants here. Let's do it again. She pulled all of the little baby plants out of the thing. It was like, look, we're playing with the dirt. She did not remember that we played with the dirt outside. Not on carpet.
Oh no.
Okay.
Okay.
Baker's flower will do that too.
Come on. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. How did everyone do?
Sorry, Maxine Nightingale was singing to me very loudly, so I had to turn that off. I cut the bill down by a third by making a plan to go to like 2 other places. So I don't know if I'm going to save after the gas and everything to get there, but I'm going to feel like I saved something.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Then made a plan for the rest of the day. That's what I did. What about you, Tekia?
Nice.
I read another chapter and made some notes from it, or rather, I applied the notes that I've already made. It's going pretty quickly because I limited what I was reading to 4 things. So each thing has its own highlight color, and I'm just going through and applying those notes. And I think theoretically this will be faster because it's broken down into just what's going to impact like the story at large. So I'm going to have to go through it again anyway. There's no point trying to fix it all at once.
Yeah.
So I think that's going really well. I definitely reached this point where I don't even realize necessarily when I'm holding my cat.
Yeah.
It's just like.
But anybody still doing the drinking game, they know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poor buddy.
Ashley.
Sparkling water.
I think there's a few parts in here where writing Candra left problems for editing Candra. And they were so vague. It was like, the supersonic hyper speed gun. And I'm like, what is the supersonic hyper speed gun? and writing Chandra was like, the thing. The thing. Stuff. And now I'm like, no, I don't know.
Aww.
So yeah.
Nice.
Love that for me.
Yeah, I scheduled my YouTube video for tomorrow, which are just going to be more writing sprints because I'm like, I need the accountability. So I haven't felt like filming and scripting and doing all that fun stuff. And then I started getting back into line edits, which is good because I needed to. So I have like a line editing checklist that I need to find. That's one of my like website freebies because I was like, it's been so long since I've done this. Like, what's my process again? Like, it's been 3 years since I've done line edits. So I'm glad I have that checklist that I can refer to because I know that it worked last time. Like, it was a good, like, it was nice and organized, and I felt like I was able to do things pretty smoothly. So
I'm gonna have to go get that for me. And kind of hold it out there as a carrot for myself. If you get through all of these plot edit points, you can go do the fun stuff.
Yeah, right. Because that's what I love doing. I just don't know why I'm like, it's because I still have some developmental edits to do for the first 2 chapters. And so I was trying to get those done before diving into the line edits. And I'm like, just do the line edits. You could like start on chapter 3. You can come back to the harder stuff. Just so.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I was going through some of the images, marking what I want to change and getting everything labeled because I want to duplicate my work. So I was looking for my OG work, like where I have all of my layers. So where I found where my work has the layers, those are what I'm duplicating. So when I upgrade them, I still have my original stuff not being messed with at all. So I just found my ships, my space stations, and I'm going to go through. I have one more part of the space station I need to pull and add to one of the things, and then I'm going to do characters and uniforms. So it's like fun stuff for me, but I feel like it's a reward because I've done nothing but writing, no drawing, no coloring. Well, except for that one time I cheated for 30 minutes. I drew something.
You cheated. You still created something.
But I wasn't supposed to be doing a lot of because it's so much twisting and my wrist is snapping. It's still snapping, but not as much. So I know it's getting better. But I haven't done any weights with and it just snapped. But I haven't done any weights, you know. So I'm trying to be really, really good because I want to do a whole lot of drawing. So
I know that we did talk about this, and I know you're saying this for other reasons, but I also just wanted to throw out there that we did determine that a picture was worth 1,000 words.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, we amongst ourselves came up with that. It's not like it's been a saying for.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We determined that it has literal application.
Yeah, we made it literal now.
I love it.
Yeah. So that is what I did. Loki came over. He comes over as soon as everything stops. Like when we stop talking, because he's like, okay, my turn. So I give him a little bit of attention, and then we swoosh, and then he goes back to take a nap.
Aww.
That's so sweet.
That's cute.
Yeah. So he came over. He didn't hop up on my lap this time, but he did last time. Like the last two ones he did. This time
I feel like you're tempting fate by saying that out loud. That like
no, I
didn't do it.
I feel like I'm reminding him that we're getting in this groove, right?
Aww.
So it's working.
I mean, I feel that though. I just had to even though he had finally started leaving me alone, I just had to snap my fingers at Tommy because he was about to go eat plastic. But you just find that happy medium.
Yeah.
But yesterday, he was upset with me, and I started to pick up on this. When he's upset with me, he's mean to the dog.
Oh.
Not okay.
And she's
makes it a chain of abuse.
It's like, he's like,
not that you're abusing, but it's like the anger, like the frustration.
Yeah.
He's taking it on this dog.
It really is. He's like, you're done with me today?
Fine. Let me go see Piper real quick.
And she's literally just existing, and then all of a sudden, pop. And she's like, I didn't even do anything.
I didn't do anything.
Last night I was working, and I look up, and he's just laying in the doorway to my bedroom, down the hall, and I'm like, what's he doing? And then I hear just the little toenails clip, 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 clip. And I realize Piper is trying to leave my room. And she's pacing back and forth, but he's guarding the door. And he's being passive aggressive about it. And she's like, I would really like to leave the room now.
I'd like to be excused from this.
And then he just lay there for a while. And then got up when he heard me, because I took a video of it. And he was like, oh, hey. Oh, now you want to pay attention to me? And Piper comes out. She's like, can I come out now?
Oh.
Poor baby.
He's really mean sometimes.
I gather.
Yeah.
No good.
I'm stuck on my book. That's why I keep doing other things. How's the productivity going? I'm I have done everything except what I came here to do.
I mean, you're still doing stuff.
If you need someone to read it and give you feedback, not because you need the feedback, but because you need to know that something's happening.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's the zeroest of zero drafts because the goal is to be done before noon on Friday, and I think that's within grasp. Except that means that I've been pushing really, really, really hard. And now I'm at the point where I'm and then there's a fight and I don't want to write the fight, but insert fight here or whatever.
Why do people not like fight scenes? I'm those are my favorite to write.
Well, it's a contemporary fight scene. So it's an argument.
I like those too.
But also, what I forgot when I was going in and when I was going in, I was I'll just really fast draft this book. I forgot that the reason that I had been so avoidant of this book that I had an idea for 2 years ago, and had been maybe not, is it's while what happens in the book isn't what happens to me. There's a lot of little bitty, hello friend. There's a lot of other things that happen in the story that are very similar to things that have happened to me because it's about the music industry. Spoiler alert. And specifically about being a kid in the music industry, being a kid performer. So some of those confrontation scenes are really difficult because it's like, oh no. Oh no. I don't want to feel like this right now.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to yell no at you. Dobby was like putting his entire person into the trash can. Straw that I threw away yesterday. Also, say hi to the gardener.
Hello.
And to your point about writing about things that are very close to personal experience, that is completely different than just writing fiction.
Yeah,
And
no, absolutely.
It's a struggle for real.
Yeah, it takes a lot of emotional energy, and I forgot when I was like, I'm gonna finish this before my kids get out of school, so they don't have to, like, we can hang out and it'll be great. I forgot that meant that I was gonna have to be using a lot of emotional energy very quickly during the writing, and then they also come home in the evenings, and I still have to have some emotional availability for them, and varying degrees of success over the course of this. So I think part of the reason I'm like I've hit a wall today is because.
Can you write the resolution of the argument before and then write backwards?
Oh, that's a good idea. I haven't tried that. Because I know how it goes, and this book feels very, like, the plot feels right. Generally, when I write, like, if I plot out a book, I know that that's not how it's gonna go. Like, this is too complicated, or this isn't. So basically, the zero draft is like, this is how the story doesn't go. But this one feels pretty, like, the tension is happening at the right points. I just don't want to go in and explore that tension.
Yeah. What? I mean, for me, sometimes when I'm stuck on stuff like that, I either try writing a different POV, changing the tense.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Even you can, like, get more distance from it by doing that, or like going to where I'm, like, comfortable and then working my way backwards.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you. Editing, when you have done that, is trash garbage. But editing Ashley's problem, not drafting Ashley. So.
That's right. I don't have to have a good book, right? It just have to have it to the end.
Yeah,
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Can't edit a blank page.
Yeah. Everything can be fixed in editing. It's fine. It's fine.
Good. Because I've got a lot of everything that I think, I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's a number on the screen. Let's put it in our phones.
Yes. Another idea, though, is since you often write an entire draft of this is not how the story goes, maybe do a series of unfortunate events style and write it how the argument does not go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then when you go back to edit, you just be like, but that's not how this happened. It happened.
I love that in movies or TV shows when something crazy happens and you're like, oh man, that was wild. And then they go back and it's like, no, they were just thinking it. They didn't actually.
Although I didn't like when they did that in Breaking Down.
Clue.
I was like, this was the most exciting part of this movie. That was the entire movie, essentially.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that
none of this happened.
Just joking. I'm like, no, that's weak. That is weak.
Yeah.
Versus, like, in Sherlock Holmes, the one with Robert Downey Jr., he's
narrating what's going to happen.
Fighting or something. And he's like, if this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens, and it's all in slow-mo. And then it goes to real time and, like, the whole fight, like, ends really fast because he knows what he's doing. And, like, that's cool.
I like that. Yeah. I did like that very much.
In Breaking Dawn, though, they might have been like, I could give you something exciting. Just let you know I could do this thing, but we're not.
Well,
that's not
but it's also like, hey, we split this into two. We need to do something. I'm like, or you could have not split it into two. Just like with Harry Potter, the final one, it's like, okay, the first part is running and the second part's the, like, Battle of Hogwarts. And then, like, with Mockingjay, when they split it into two, I was like, this is probably the best one that's been done, but I'm still like, you didn't have to split it.
Like The Hobbit when they split it into 3 parts.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. I am so mad that Wicked is being split into 2 movies. Like John M.
What?
Chu. Yeah, like John M. Chu. I'm like, I know that you can do this. You did Crazy Rich Asians. What are you doing, sir? The musical itself is already like a 2-hour thing.
On the note about
or like an hour and a half.
Story, how it didn't happen though. That is a device used in high. I don't remember where I read this. I read this in a book on writing though, where it was like if the plot is successful, then you don't tell the plan. But if it's unsuccessful, you say what the plan is, and then here's how it actually happened.
Oh, that's
cool. Yeah.
It also kind of blows it's a spoiler for everything.
But that's really cool. By the way, they don't follow that rule in Ocean's 8. Just gonna say that.
Yeah, no. But for a lot
But is Ocean's 8 a successful heist movie?
I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
No. I don't want you to tell me if the heist is successful. I want you to tell me if the movie was successful for you as a person.
Oh, I
did
like
the movie. Did you like it?
I like the movie. Some people were like, "Why are you trying to make Ocean's 11 with all women?" And I was like, "Well, why not?"
Yeah.
I thought they did a great job, and they didn't try to undo anything that had happened.
No, they. I was like, I think it stands on its own. On its own, it pays homage. It's good. Also, I'm maybe a little bit biased about the costumes though, because my friend dressed like all the background men for the Met Gala in the.
You put a shirt on. I'm so proud of you.
So I was very happy.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great, but I don't remember where I read that, and I was like, that is mind blowing. And now whenever I'm putting stuff in, I'm thinking about that, do I want this to be successful? Because then everything that I say about it doesn't really matter. And then if it's, unsuccessful, the same thing, it's it kind of gives you, it kind of gives you an out when you're writing. If you know that hey, this doesn't work, so I can share the whole plan as I'm coming up with it, and it doesn't ruin the story.
Yeah.
Because whatever happens, this isn't how it happens. And I don't have to know how it actually happens.
That is really
I
good
think
advice.
if you watch a lot of heists, then you probably figure that out. Anytime that they're telling me, I'm like, oh, this is going to go badly. I just feel like it. I'm like, when I'm hearing, I'm like, oh, something's going to go wrong. And that's that thing that automatically clicks in your brain that people don't think about it. But if you watch or read enough of it, it's just that one of those things that lets you know something's about to happen.
Yeah.
So true.
But hold on just a second. It was a more successful transition, but that doesn't mean that the female Ghostbusters was terrible. I think people were so mean to it.
No. Some people were vitriolic. I'm not saying that it was bad, but I do agree that one was a better transition.
I know he has an actual name, but Thor in that movie was great.
He was great. He was so funny. And I'm sorry. I love Kate McKinnon.
Yeah,
I love her so much.
To turn the whole admin secretary trope.
I loved it. I loved that. That was my favorite part of the entire movie. That joke.
Yeah.
We're going to start our next sprint.
Go look on the.
And we will basically be ending hopefully at the 3-hour mark of the stream.
Hey.
Depending on how fast we do our outros.
Well.
Oh wait, gotta keep the elbows.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can wear those.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. Okay. I should add this back to this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, did I? By the way, my update is I finally finished revising chapter 16 of this book.
Nice.
Yay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. I wasn't working on it every single day, but it took me that long.
But you finished it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
That's nice.
3, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. My unmute thing wasn't working. Took me like 3 clicks. Anyway, how did everyone do?
Great. Chandra?
Elucidate.
Wow, I need a good word. No, it was good. I found I have this really old folder with like all of my like line editing notes, and then I printed out a new checklist. So
Nice.
yeah, we're going through it. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad. Like, I don't know why I was dragging my feet on it, but I'm enjoying it so far.
I actually did do stuff other than be on social media, but I have definitely running into this thing where I've written some really stupid stuff.
Like,
so I'm going back. So the way that I did my read through, I highlighted just the sections that I needed to go look at. So anytime I need to read something on a specific subject, I can go to the preceding chapters and just look for that highlight color, and it's got everything I need to read. But you know how when you're like, oh, she had never seen this before, and then you look back and you're like, she has definitely seen this 5 times. So surprising.
Yay. I did some erasing. I found the missing parts of my space station, but I didn't have it saved in layers, but that's okay because I got to erase. And I swear I'm erasing and it feels so good. I'm like, that's how long it's been since I've done anything. I'm just like, I know it's only erasing, but this is fabulous.
I mean, if you're happy, you're happy.
Exactly.
So now I just have to resize it and to make it fit in the space station and make everything fit properly. And then I can start upgrading that and good stuff.
Ooh.
Yay.
I made a post on Ko-fi about my revision progress update because I'm finally 30% through this novel. Feels like we're freaking ever because life just kept throwing things at me in like April and the start of this month. It is also my July Camp Nano project, so I'm not like worried about getting it done by the end of this month, but it's like I really thought I'd be farther than where I am, but anyway.
But look at everything that you've done.
I've also been adding a lot more to each chapter than I expected. Like I asked my alpha readers, I'm like, hey, where should I add more stuff? And some of their comments have been like, yeah, can you add more? And then as I'm reading through it, I'm like, oh no, there needs to be more here. Like even more than what they're saying. So I might get through all of the comments because also a lot of the comments are like, ooh, or like they're just a reaction type of thing. And this is, so like I might get through the comments and I'm like, oh no, I'm still not done with this chapter.
I did write out all the motivations for people who were like, I've gotten a lot done in little bits and pieces, but I'll do like 2 minutes of work and then I'll be like, and now I'm gonna come over here and look at the groceries, and now I'm gonna But I wrote down everybody's motivation for this big this is like the apex right before we go into the dark night moment. This is the one, this is the one last turn before the big one happens. And so I got tensions figured out and like why people are upset, figured that out. So that they have a voice when we go into the actual scene, and it's not just them going, but I don't like you, because they do all like each other because it's a middle grade book and they're family. So like, I wanted to do a larger cast in my middle grade book than I did in the last few. This was very stressful. Just bring 5 family members into a very small space. Yeah. And then have like friends and other people coming in and out.
You know, as someone who does not have like in my first book, I think I have 10 family members.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just in one family because there's like 3 families.
Yeah.
I relate to this very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't give myself large casts. Like, I give myself like, oh, there's an army of like nameless whatever. But
I don't mean to. I also don't mean to write, trilogies and sequels.
well, no one wants to make more work for themselves to tell a story. But
this is how I hurt myself. So
yeah. That's pretty much how mine are. Like for my fantasy, there's the individual girls and they each have something that they've got to do. A couple of them have love interests. They all have families. And I'm just like, can I eliminate any of these girls? And I did early on, I combined 2. So that eliminated one because I was like, I really just don't feel like writing another story for this one. So I just combined 2 and hopefully it still goes smoothly. But then, yeah, I'm
like, know how I fix everything. Just kill them.
Kelly,
people will die. So
Kelly Wright, who I do the Writers podcast with, we were talking or whatever, and I was telling her about my current work in progress, and she was like, "You say it's a standalone?" And I was like, "Don't even joke." I was like, "It is a standalone."
The standalone that I'm working on, I definitely had a moment the other day where I wrote out a scene for book 2, which I haven't gone back to. So like, it's not happening. It's not a thing. But like, if it were to be a thing, like it could be, but it's not.
Yeah.
But like, if it was going to be.
Yeah, my murder mystery romance did that because I'm like, I want to end it on a happily for now because I want to leave something a little bit ambiguous. And I'm like, because what could happen next? And I'm like, stop.
Like, leave it be for now. Maybe after you've done other projects, if you want to circle back around.
Exactly. I'm like, no, let's cut it right there.
It's so hard to say goodbye.
Yeah.
What movie is that from?
Oh, I can see it.
It's a song.
I was gonna say.
Right?
Maybe I'm seeing the music video. I can see it. I just can't.
Yeah, I know Boys to Men have the song, and probably everybody's seen the video for it. So.
Yeah.
But my theory is right. Loki is getting trained, and it might be just Zara's timer that's helping because he hears the typing, wakes up, comes over for his snack, and then lays back down and goes to sleep.
Oh, I was gonna say, nice Pavlov dog.
The problem is when you start typing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not typing right now, but I think. Oh, that might be what it is. Because I'll show you my keyboard. Sounds like that. So maybe he's like, she's working.
Oh.
It's like when Ashley's kids are like, you're not working. We don't hear typing.
We don't hear typing.
And you're like, I'm handwriting. And so I said to just play my timers.
Yeah, so whenever I'm doing artwork, I need to just still play Zara's timer.
No, nobody came in to tell me that today. They did come in to ask if they could go outside, and I had to remind them that you have to wear clothes. So, like multiple times, please put on anything.
When you're a kid, you're like, that's
on anything. It is, but
like it's a waste of time.
Look, it's cold where we are today. It's only 80 degrees. We're freezing.
Oh.
Okay, let's do outros. Okay.
Yeah.
Ashley, you're first.
Okay. I am Ashley B. Patago. I am a writer for children and adults, a songwriter, and I host productivity sprints over on Twitch. You can find me there most Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes on Saturdays. I do the first, third, and fifth Saturday of every month. If you want to hear more about that, you can go over to my Instagram, and if you look right down there, I've got a Ko-fi and nothing else. Chandra?
My name is Candra Arthur. I have an AuthorTube channel. I also have a Twitch, but I haven't been on lately. Beside the point, I write horror.
I'm so excited to read that.
Just gonna go with it at this point. I'm half of Flash Fiction Live with Natalie Locke, which you can catch on Saturday mornings at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I also like to pop up on some of Nia's specials, scripting the book and the writer wrap-up. There we go. I remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, I make videos about reading, writing, and all things books. I've got some new stuff coming up soon, including a book tag. So if you like to read books and you want to be tagged, let a girl know.
Yay. Yes. Sorry, I was trying to mute myself because my dog's barking and I didn't want Loki to get all crazy.
He's like looking up.
I am a dog and cat mama. I am a fur mom. I am also a kidlit writer. And I forgot to mention at the beginning that I'm also the host of the Diversity is Lit book club. There's still time to read our May book of the month, which is Witchlings. That was tongue-tied, by Claribel A. Ortega, which is really good. And then for June, we only had Pride month. For Pride month, we only had LGBTQ picks, and so we're going to be reading the Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School by Sonara Reyes, which sounds really good. So join us for that as well.
Cool. Oh yeah, I'm also getting ready to read the Witchlings. I'm going to read Devil Wears Prada, and then Witchlings is next, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, Loki did look up. He gave me the peek.
Oh.
He's like, "Is that my doggy friend?" And I'm like, doggy friends later. Yeah, I'm Nia the Vixen of Fiction. I'm here on YouTube, Twitch on occasion, and on Instagram. And I have a Ko-fi, which is scrolling across the thing right below. I write historical fiction, sci-fi, and fantasy. I'm a genre hopper, so I like to mix supernatural, mystery, and romance, and all of that. And I'm a Loki mom and a mom of 4, and I'm doing all the things. I'm working on a comic. I'm working on a fantasy book, and I host AuthorTube React, where Zara is one of my co-hosts. I co-host a writer's wrap-up. Chandra helps out with that, and I host scripting the book. I have great co-hosts on for that. So if you like watching adaptations and reading the things and you want to join us for something, just let me know.
Next week is Devil Wears Prada.
Yes. Sunday, Devil Wears Prada.
Fun.
I love the wrap-up.
Don't forget to keep your
Well, Ashley doing a lot for the wrap-ups.
I do, because it's so fun.
Yes, you're like our number one go-to for the wrap-up.
I'm so glad.
And Sarah is hosting this one.
And
we're gonna try and snag Chandra to host one over the summer.
Yeah, as long as it's well, my schedule changes every quarter, but right now I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are good days for me. So
cool.
We will get together on that.
Yes.
Grayson had a storm coming in and then actually lost power, so Grayson's not here, but great. Check Grayson out on I Write with Pride.
They're on Instagram too. They have a really good Instagram where you
their Ko-fi is linked to everything.
Yes. If you go to their Ko-fi, you'll find their Instagram, and they always
go to any of these Ko-fis. Everything is linked except the book club, which is linked in the description down below because I now remember to do that.
Thank you.
Anyway, My name is Zara Hoffman. My Ko-fi link is scrolling along the bottom, but is also above our heads. I am the self-published author of a young adult paranormal romance trilogy and a new adult sci-fi romance trilogy. These are kind of standalone books, although you get the best experience if you read them all and in order. This one you have to read all three or you won't know what's happening. And I am a Ko-fi ambassador, so if you have any questions about being on Ko-fi, which is better than all other alternatives, then DM me on Instagram. Username is Zara Hoffman. I also have a Ko-fi guide for writers, which should answer most of your questions off the bat. I am the co-creator, co-host, and editor of the Writers Podcast with Kelly Wright, which has its own Ko-fi page, and we are selling color-changing mugs, which are super cool.
Right.
So check that out. There's a video of how it looks. I am the publisher of Inimitable Books, which is a small publisher that is dedicated to uplifting marginalized voices without forcing authors to spotlight and exploit their trauma within the story, even if it is like in a fantasy genre and things like that. So if you're not straight, but you don't want to write about not straight people, or you want to write about not straight people, but have that not be the point of the story, then you can. And, you know, so that's an example. And I, like Nia said, I am one of the co-hosts for AuthorTubers React. We had our last one last night. Super fun. I also tend to pop up on her Scripting the Book series because I get excited about things. And I think that's everything I do. My Ko-fi page has everything, so be sure to check that out, honestly. And I will see, am I streaming next Sunday? I'm not going to be at home, so I think I am streaming. Yes, I have co-hosts scheduled.
I was going to say, I'm supposed to be on next week.
Yes, I'm like, I my brain. So I will be streaming again next Sunday. I might do a pop-up sometime this week.
Okay.
We'll see. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. I would like to make more videos on this channel. We will see if that ever actually happens. But I am trying to get monetized. So if you are not subscribed yet, please do. And Loki under the desk. So
Hi, Loki.
Yeah. So hope everyone had a good, productive time, whatever that means for you. And I will see you all with another stream sometime soon. Bye.
Bye.